Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast, the show that separates fact from fiction in the wildest alien encounters. I'm Adrian Smith, your guide through the cosmos of the bizarre. And with me always is Julia Jones, our resident expert on all things extraterrestrial.
Hey, everybody.
Don't forget to hit that rate and follow button so you don't miss a single episode.
Glad to be back.
So today we're strapping in for a paranormal probe that'll leave you wondering if time travel is just a science fiction fantasy.
Okay.
Get this. Flight 741, a Pan Am flight that vanished 15 years ago, suddenly reappeared at Montreal Trudeau Airport.
Wow.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
The plane's identical to how it was in 1988.
Really?
Passengers haven't aged a day.
Oh my gosh.
And their tech is straight out of the past.
What?
It's as if a time capsule crash-landed in 2023.
It's something out of a movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's paint the picture.
Okay.
A crisp autumn day at Montreal Trudeau Airport.
Right.
Picture seasoned NTSB investigator Alex Moreau, a man who's seen his fair share of aviation disasters.
I bet.
But nothing could have prepared him for this.
I can imagine.
He's racing towards the plane, knowing the file on this missing flight is a cold case collecting dust on his desk.
Wow. So think about the shock of everyone at the airport.
Yeah.
Air traffic control, ground crew, passengers waiting for their loved ones.
Right.
They're witnessing a ghost from the past touchdown as if it's just another routine arrival.
Crazy.
And then there are the families of those who vanished on Flight 741 all those years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the overwhelming mix of hope and terror seeing that plane return, their loved ones seemingly back from the dead.
It's like something out of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Now, Alex boards the aircraft, pushing past the throngs of bewildered onlookers and media.
Right.
Stepping inside, it's like walking into a time warp. Magazines in seat pockets.
Wow.
Tray tables down. A snapshot of 1988 frozen in time.
Wow.
But then you see the passengers.
And that's where the real horror sets in, right? They haven't aged a day.
Yeah.
A young woman asks what year it is.
Oh, God.
And when Alex tells her it's 2023, you can practically feel the collective wave of disbelief and fear wash over the cabin.
It'd be terrifying.
One elderly woman is even mouthing, "Help us," from her window seat.
That's creepy.
Chilling stuff.
But the weirdness doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
Alex manages to speak to the pilot, Captain Grant.
Okay.
And things take an even stranger turn.
What happens?
Captain Grant, just as confused as his passengers, insists they landed just 15 minutes ago.
Wow.
But in his mind, it's still 1988.
So where were they for the past 15 years?
Exactly. And what exactly happened to them during that missing time?
Right. It's such a mystery.
They're like Rip Van Winkles of the sky.
Haha. That's a good one.
The passengers are quickly ushered into a quarantine section of the airport hangar.
Right.
The surreal mix of medical personnel, psychologists, and bewildered time travelers.
Oh, wow.
And it becomes clear. Whatever happened to Flight 741, it's more than just a case of missing time.
I bet.
Something far more sinister is lurking beneath the surface.
I think you might be right about that.
Yeah, do you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast, where we're peeling back the layers of the chilling enigma that is Flight 741.
So last we left off, things were getting pretty intense in that quarantine hangar.
Oh, yeah.
Passengers experiencing disturbing visions. A CDC technician had a meltdown.
Right.
And one of the passengers wound up murdered with a cryptic symbol carved into his chest.
It's a crazy situation.
And it seems our investigators are hitting a wall with traditional methods.
Yeah.
This isn't a case of a faulty engine or pilot error.
Right.
This is something else entirely.
Definitely.
Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the situation spiraling, our NTSB investigator, Alex Moreau, and our xenobiologist with the unique perspective, Dr. Anya Petrova, find themselves at a crossroads. They're in desperate need of answers and fast.
But where do you even begin to look for answers when you're dealing with something this far outside the realm of normal?
Well, in a moment of desperation, they turn to someone who might just understand the forces at play here.
Okay.
A psychic named Evelyn Fournier.
Evelyn Fournier.
Yeah.
Now, she's a controversial figure, to say the least. Some hail her as a gifted psychic, while others denounce her as a fraud.
Right.
But with time running out and the situation growing more volatile by the minute, Alex and Anya are willing to try anything.
I can understand that.
Remember, even Alex the skeptic is starting to experience those strange whispers and unsettling feelings.
Oh, wow.
The line between reality and the paranormal is blurring for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Pushing them to consider possibilities they might have scoffed at before.
That's interesting.
Okay, so they bring in this psychic, Evelyn Fournier.
Yeah.
What exactly does she bring to the table?
Well, Evelyn claims to be able to hear the same whispers that are tormenting the passengers. She believes they were some sort of psychic residue, an echo of whatever entity or force the plane encountered during its time outside our reality.
So they're not just dealing with a physical presence, but a psychic one as well.
Right.
That adds a whole new layer of complexity to this already bizarre situation.
Definitely.
We're talking about a potential psychic invasion here.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
The idea that this entity could be influencing minds, manipulating perceptions,
Right.
perhaps even controlling actions.
Yeah.
While Evelyn tries to help the passengers cope with this psychic assault,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Petrova is busy digging deeper into her own investigation.
Speaking of Dr. Petrova's investigation, what's she uncovering?
Oh.
Because last we heard, she was pretty convinced that something came back with the passengers.
Right. Well, she's uncovered a disturbing pattern of similar incidents.
Okay.
Other plane disappearances, reports of strange anomalies before those flights vanished.
Uh-huh.
This suggests that Flight 741 wasn't an isolated event.
So it's not just a simple alien abduction, but
Yeah.
something far more intricate and potentially widespread.
Right.
What's Dr. Petrova's take on this?
Well,
Does she have any theories about what's really going on?
she's starting to theorize that these planes aren't being abducted in the traditional sense.
Okay.
Instead, she believes they're being used as transit points,
Okay.
gateways between our world and something else.
Gateways, huh?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a joyride in a flying saucer,
Uh-huh.
but potentially an invasion or a cosmic highway system?
It's possible.
This is some seriously mind-blowing stuff.
It really is.
What does it all mean?
Right.
What are these beings trying to achieve?
Those are the million-dollar questions, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's a race against time for our investigators to find the answers, because just when they think they're getting somewhere, things take a terrifying turn for the worse.
Oh, no. What happens? Does the entity make a grand appearance?
Not quite. The lights in the hangar begin to flicker erratically. Panic erupts as the tension reaches a fever pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the passengers starts speaking in that same strange language that the CDC technician babbled before collapsing.
Oh, no.
It's a scene straight out of a nightmare.
Okay, that's definitely creepy. But what about Captain Grant, the pilot?
Yeah.
Has he offered any more clues as to what happened during those missing years?
Actually, yes, from the cockpit. Captain Grant cries out,
Mm-hmm.
his voice laced with terror and something else, something unsettling and otherworldly.
Okay.
He starts talking about the plane's engines,
Mm.
about a power that feeds on them,
Wow.
a power that's growing stronger.
It's as if whatever came back with Flight 741 is now manifesting itself,
Right.
using the plane as a conduit,
Yeah.
a vessel for its sinister intentions.
Exactly. Dr. Petrova, in a moment of terrifying realization, connects the dots.
What is it?
The pattern of anomalies reported before other planes vanished, Captain Grant's cryptic warnings about the engines, it
Yeah.
all clicks.
So what's the connection?
Well,
What has Dr. Petrova figured out?
she realizes that the planes themselves are not victims of abduction,
Okay.
but rather integral parts of something much larger, much more dangerous. They're not just random targets, but crucial components in a grand, terrifying design.
Hold on. So
Yeah.
you're saying that Flight 741 isn't just a lost plane,
Mm-hmm.
but a weapon.
It seems so.
A weapon for what?
Right.
And who or what is controlling it?
That's the chilling question that hangs in the air, and the answer, it seems, is about to unfold in a way none of them could have anticipated.
Oh, folks, we're on the edge of our seats here.
I bet.
This paranormal probe has taken a turn for the truly terrifying. What happens next? How do they stop a plane from becoming a weapon of cosmic destruction? Find out in the final part of this episode of the True Alien Podcast. Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast, where we're about to reach the climax of our paranormal probe into the mystery of Flight 741. Last we left off,
Mm-hmm.
things were getting pretty intense in that quarantine hangar.
Definitely.
Passengers exhibiting superhuman strength,
Yep.
speaking in tongues,
Uh-huh.
and the pilot warning about a power source feeding off the plane's engines.
It was crazy.
So Dr. Petrova has just made a chilling realization.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The planes, she believes, aren't victims of abduction.
All right.
They're key players in something far more sinister.
A weapon, you said right.
A weapon? Yeah, but a weapon for what purpose?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dr. Petrova theorizes that this entity, this force that brought Flight 741 back, is using the plane's technology, specifically its engines, as an anchor to our world. It's like a bridge, allowing something from another dimension to cross over.
So it's not just about snatching a few unsuspecting passengers for a probing session.
Nope.
This is about something infiltrating our world, potentially on a massive scale.
Exactly. And if this entity fully manifests through the plane's systems, who knows what the consequences could be? We're talking about a potential breach in the fabric of reality.
Okay, this is some seriously scary stuff. So what's the plan? How do they stop a possessed airplane from becoming a portal for an interdimensional invasion?
It's a desperate race against time. They need to cut off the power source, disrupt the entity's connection to our world, sever the fuel lines, stop the flow to the engines. It's a risky move, but it might be their only hope.
But remember, the hangar is in complete chaos.
Right.
Passengers have transformed into these terrifying beings.
It's a nightmare.
Scientists and security personnel are scrambling for safety.
Oh, God.
It's a madhouse in there.
It really is. It's in this chaotic environment that Alex Moreau, Dr. Petrova, and Evelyn Fournier find themselves fighting for their lives and potentially the fate of the world.
Talk about an unlikely trio. The skeptic investigator,
Right.
the fringe scientist,
Uh-huh.
and the controversial psychic.
What a team.
It's like something out of X-Files episode.
Totally. And each of them brings their unique skills to the fight. Alex, with his quick thinking and bravery, tries to hold back the possessed passengers. Anya, with her knowledge of the plane's systems, guides the others toward the crucial fuel lines. And Evelyn, using her psychic abilities, attempts to contain the spreading psychic energy, trying to shield those who are still unaffected.
So it's not just about brute force.
Nope.
They're using a combination of science,
Right.
strategy, and even psychic powers
Mhm.
to combat this otherworldly threat.
Exactly. It's a desperate gamble. A fight against an enemy they barely understand, using methods that are just as unconventional as the threat itself.
Okay, so the tension is building.
Yeah.
They're in a race against time,
Uh-huh.
battling possessed passengers
Right.
and a cosmic entity that's about to break through into our world. What happens next? Do they succeed in shutting down this interdimensional portal?
I don't want to spoil the ending for our listeners, but let's just say the fate of Flight 741, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance until the very last moment. It's a climax filled with suspense, action, and some pretty mind-bending psychic phenomena.
So this paranormal probe has taken us to the edge of reality and back. Where does this leave us? What are the takeaways from this chilling encounter?
This case raises more questions than answers, doesn't it? It challenges our understanding of time, space, and the very nature of reality. It suggests that what we perceive as solid and immutable may be far more fluid and interconnected than we ever imagined.
Yeah, it also highlights the limitations of our traditional scientific methods when confronted with the truly unknown. Sometimes you need to embrace the unconventional, the fringe theories, to even begin to grasp the complexities of the universe.
Absolutely. And perhaps the most important takeaway is this. We are not alone in this vast cosmos. There are forces at play, entities beyond our comprehension, that may be observing, influencing, even interacting with our world in ways we're only beginning to understand.
It's both terrifying and exhilarating, isn't it? The thought that there's so much more out there waiting to be discovered, even if those discoveries challenge our very perception of reality.
Indeed. And who knows, maybe one day we'll have more answers about Flight 741, about the entity that used it as a bridge, and the purpose behind its intrusion into our world. Until then, we can only speculate, investigate, and keep our eyes open to the mysteries that surround us.
Well said. And to our listeners, keep those questions coming.
Yeah.
Keep exploring the unexplained.
Absolutely.
And remember, the truth is out there,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in the vast expanse of the cosmos.
It is.
And maybe it's closer than we think. Until next time, this is Adrian Smith signing off on the True Alien Podcast.